I guess part of the reason we keep enduring these opening production logos is because all these companies know they are temporary and bound to die off at some point. So the production logo is really the only permanent stamp of creation you can make on a film.
In the movies, Dracula wears a cape, and some old English guy always manages to save the day.
Narration. Also, the fact that it's Ryan Reynolds doing it makes me feel like this is a Deadpool movie, and it isn't. And I am forlorn.
But everybody knows the movies are full of
Sins. The word you were looking for was sins. It doesn't get much more David Goyer than a shot of a vampire flipping off the sun. It's already been established in previous Blade movies that these vampires see really well in the dark. Then why the glow sticks? Is a vampire rave about to break out? Do these four not have comms of any sort? Why has nobody said a word since they landed? It's not like they have to be quiet to avoid detection.
So why here?
Because this is the cradle of civilization. He would have been comfortable here.
Posey's position.
The people who suffer from this disease are anemic. They become intolerant to sunlight. They can't handle garlic.
As if the talk show as exposition cliche isn't enough, movie Wikipedia's us for a full 5 minutes with nothing but words. This is a Blade movie, right? Pretty sure we're here to see exploding heads, not talking ones.
Now that's the guy I want to hear about. I want to hear about this character, Blade.
Or maybe even see him in action at some point. You do eventually have a Blade appearance in your Blade movie, right? Because nothing keeps the momentum of the action going better than pausing every few seconds for another stylized movie title. Okay, Wesley, I want you to kill some vampires, pose for a title credit even though no one is around to see you, and run to the next thing. Why is Blade doing a pirouette jump here? There's no one to impress. And even as a flourish, it's simply not that cool. Even though there appears to be no ramp of any kind in the back of the truck, Blade's car somehow jumps over the car outside instead of slamming right into it. Blade Trinity doesn't know how to physics. Also, is this how Blade gets his vehicle? Didn't he have to drive to the vampire warehouse he just blew up? Why not leave a car there? Also, he somehow got that car out of there in 3 seconds flat. That's barely enough time to start it, let alone release it from whatever secured it to the truck. It was secured to the truck, right? Harley-Davidson pulls the gun out of his jacket, turns around, and fires away without the motorcycle even veering a bit. He should have skidded out and wound up on the bottom side of one of the cars currently speeding through the tunnel. This works. Automobile deaths in America would quadruple if the doors on cars actually opened as easily as they do in movies. You could let the ultraviolet light burn your face off, or you could, duck. Also, Blade probably should have led with this. In fact, why not just drive around with the UV headlights on always?
Staked you with silver. Why aren't you ash?
He's human. It's obvious. How would you not assume that, as soon as he didn't disintegrate? How dull is this Blade? Also, I'm surprised this doesn't actually happen more often. It's not like Blade is out there checking vampire ID when he goes on these rampages, and he has no problem killing familiars. How has he not accidentally killed several humans before?
Not a vampire, dumb Set your sorry ass up.
Wait, what? Why would they want to set up Blade? It's clear the cops are already after him from the awkward chief of police TV interview from earlier.
People want to be concerned. They should focus in on characters like this Blade criminal.
And yet this guy gets staked for no reason. Also, how exactly did she know this chase and crash would end exactly here so she could get the perfect angle on this setup? Also, why did he even have fake teeth in? It's not like Blade could have seen them until now.
Oh, Blade.
Wait a second, did he do a second take for her? Originally, that spotlight followed him quite a long way as he ran, but now it almost immediately heads back to the body.
Some friends of mine made it.
Friends?
Yeah. You remember those?
Actually, that's a valid question. In the previous 2 films, Whistler has been on the level of a man with no name loner. Where the f*** did these friends come from? Did they videotape the warehouse explosion too? How did the police know that the fire had anything to do with Blade when it happened several miles away?
Let's catch a plane, Wilson. Time to take these cowboys down.
What is he talking about? He said he had a lead, which he never explains. Then says he wants to take down cowboys, when I thought he was just after Blade. Who are these guys and why did this scene happen?
The humans have a new hunter, Blade.
And you'd like me to kill him, wouldn't you?
Yes.
So Dracula was raised just to kill Blade? They couldn't find any other option than raising f***ing Dracula. How about just get 10 large vamps and have them attack Blade all at once instead of one at a time?
Subject is heading west.
Got him.
If Blade and Abraham Whistler Vampire Hunter have been so good at hiding out until now, how did they find them this easy?
Damn it, Blade. Don't you see what they're doing? They're waging a goddamn PR campaign.
Don't you miss the old pre-Blade and Underworld days when vampires just ate people? No guns, no political sabotage, just ate people.
You worry too much, old man. That's why we're still alive, goddammit.
Well, that and Blade's vampire-killing super skills, but sure, Whistler. I bet your worrying helped out a bit too.
I see you alone, surrounded by enemies. And it breaks my heart.
Movie tries to pull emotion from us when the extent of Wesley Snipes' emoting range is this.
Come on, man, what about that guy?
Pre-Twilight whiny teenage vampires, still just as annoying.
No fatties, they taste like Cheetos.
But Cheetos are delicious!
Oh, looks like we got ourselves a combo meal.
Somehow, Abigail has mastered the perfect costuming to lead vampires in her trap. Also, how does no one believe in vampires in a world where vampires are this brazenly vampiring in public places?
Chicky, 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 chicky.
Extremely public place is suddenly empty, so very bad things can happen cliché. Even in 2004, we're just buying a loaf of French bread and head of lettuce and nothing wrapped around it. It's E. coli in a bag. Vamp hole number 4 is knocked out behind her, so he can join the fight later. So why doesn't she quickly finish him off with her knife boot before walking all the way across to face vamp hole number 3? Abigail even knocks this douche-pyre down several times and has plenty of time to finish him off, but continues to let him get up. For someone so intent on killing vampires, she doesn't seem to be in any hurry. This movie is so badass that even the 30-second meditation scene we've all been clamoring for needs to be seen from 3 different angles.
What is it? What you worried about?
The window? The chain link wall? The moon? Blade, is it the moon? Whistler has sensitive information on 4 different computers. Has he never heard of multiple hard drives? Unless, of course, he's just clearing his browser history, in which case, carry on, good soldier. Considering how much he gave Blade for killing a human, Whistler clearly has no issue blowing away cops.
Move a finger and you're dead.
How's about this one?
He's got something in his hand.
Get out, Blade!
After 2 movies and some change, seems like a pretty bland way for Whistler to go out. However, you could also argue Christopherson got out of this easy by not having to be part of the rest of the film. Did Blade just go Super Saiyan?
Hold it right there. Don't shoot, don't shoot.
Don't shoot. Whatever happened to... Make up your mind, feds. Such grimacing, so emotion.
And what about garlic? Does that work on Hindu vampires?
Or do you need like saffron or some?
Going with the old bad cop routine, I see.
How about the president? You know who that is.
If not, Kanye can catch you up to speed.
I think somebody here wants to talk about vampires. Vampires.
Is making fun of your patient a way to get him to open up? I don't think Dr. Vance knows the difference between talking to a grown adult and a small child.
Delicious physical intimacy. The very sweet taste of saliva mixed with skin. Oh, sounds good to me.
Wow, I'm going to the wrong psychiatrist.
Who would have imagined a mere human like me could have overpowered you?
Lazy screenwriters? Oh, you've got badges and Well, just come on through. No need to sign in or anything.
We moved the humans around like pawns. We used them to flesh you out.
This seems like a lot of rigmarole for nothing. Is it really that hard to get Blade out in the open? Have some vampires attack some humans, and he shows up. Pants boner. Police station has video game level halls where the officers conveniently come out one at a time. Oh look, Seventh Heaven has joined the party, with no explanation or introduction to this scene.
Blade, you're dead. Get up.
Really, movie? It's not like they ducked a punch and hit someone else. They dodge bullets, and for some reason both sides keep shooting at each other. What was their thought process? Well, I know those guys at the other end of the hall aren't who we originally were shooting at, but oh well. Once you pop... Arrows may glance off things, but they do not ricochet headfirst in a completely different direction. It's literally part of the design to go straight. As an error. Why are they running away from Abigail? They could shoot her while she's setting up her bow. Good thing she also had a power drill arrow in her quill of tricks, and somehow knew to load it up before she even saw she was shooting through a door. Come on! Conveniently slow police force waits until the obvious getaway car is already getting away before police forcing. Instead of loading up a vampire kill arrow, the chick from Stealth decides to put Triple H in a nap instead, where he can dream of having The Rock's career and Flintstone's chewable steroids.
Whistler's daughter.
A lesser-known painting for sure, but still worth a pretty penny at auction.
We call ourselves the Night Stalkers.
Sounds like rejects from a Saturday morning cartoon.
Actually, a comic run of 18 issues in the 90s, but semantics.
What, you amateurs are supposed to be helping me?
Careful, Blade, as the old vampire saying goes, don't bite the neck that frees you.
You think this is a sitcom?
Unfortunately, no. Even with Ryan Reynolds, we are still short one guy, one girl, and a pizza place.
Okay, first off, that's just rude. Second, I'm pretty sure we saved your ass back there.
Hannibal lecture.
Hannibal King! I should have ripped his bleeding heart out when I had the chance.
You also should have just decapitated Blade when he was in restraints at the police station, but you seem to want to keep this rivalry going for a bit longer.
Has he been told?
About your failure.
Alright, Prison Break here, who has a total of 15 seconds of screen time in the entire first half of this movie, is the actual villain. Why did you break him out if he was just gonna hang back at the camp the whole time?
Her name is Danica Talos. You met her earlier.
Hannibal apparently has a doom camera on his gun in case he needs to give exposition later.
And unlike typical vampires, her fangs are located in her vagina.
Vampgina dentata?
Summerfield managed to treat me with the cure, and now I kill them.
Hold on, wait, there's a cure? That changes everything, right? Shouldn't they be saving some vampires then, instead of killing them all willy-nilly? Marvel Comics exist in a Marvel movie with Ryan Reynolds. This really might be a Deadpool prequel.
It's a piece of his armor. With it, we were able to extrapolate a basic idea of what this fucker looked like. Check this out.
You were able to extrapolate all that from that tiny piece of armor? Are you psychic? Did it have a product ID number on it? Did you find it encased in amber?
Nobody really knows the specifics of his origin, but we do know this. He was the first of his kind.
That seems really specific.
And according to our information, they found him in Iraq about 6 months ago.
6 freaking months ago? 6 months? Drake's been out for 6 months and hasn't done Has he just been sitting around eating Oreo Thins and prostitutes? What gives? Oh look, a Vancouver postal code. Either the hotbed of vampire activity is in British Columbia, or someone accidentally gave away their filming location.
Hey guy, she's talking to you.
Apparently customer service is not something they teach at Vampire Tchotchke Store Training School.
For you sighted people, here's a little show and tell.
Line exists only to make sure we quickly know that Summerfield is blind. Apparently orange is the new forced exposition.
Electronic pistol comes in a variety of tasty calibers.
I like Patton Oswalt as much as the next guy, but for the love of Ratatouille, does every freaking movie need a cue?
This bad boy's half as hot as the sun and can cut through vampires like a knife through butter.
Who doesn't want a little vampire butter on their toast in the morning? But did you just say half as hot as the sun? The sun? That's like 5,000 degrees. I'm no scientist, but I'm pretty sure 5,000 degrees is not something you could hold near you and still have any skin left in the morning.
Weakest link. The Vampire Training Command has always been there. Familiars.
Movie feels the need to explain things like familiars. Fine, but having Blade explain it to Hannibal, who would 100% know what these are, makes no sense.
I got you some new wheels. You took care of it now.
The Night Stalker's brought to you by GMC. Movie builds up invincible, all-powerful villain, and the first time he's confronted, he runs away. Sprinting! 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 And jogging.
I had a family once. Wife, 2 daughters.
We interrupt this touching Whistler family flashback to ask where the hell all this blood came from, considering when we saw Abigail just a few seconds ago, her skin was pristine. Is this not the largest shower in the history of showers? This shower is so huge they could wash their cars in it, or some elephants, or Wesley Snipes' tax bill.
Tac polymerase, bone marrow growth supplement, genetic sequencing enzymes.
What are fancy-sounding science words that mean nothing to the audience? I'll take MacGuffins for 800, Alex.
There's an old saying, kill one man, you're a murderer. Kill a million, a king. Kill them all, a god.
Or just simply a mass murder.
Kill you, motherfucker! I'll kill you! I'll just enjoy it better.
More. You will enjoy it more. Unless, of course, you literally mean you are better skilled at enjoying it.
Vampires decided that hunting humans on a piecemeal basis was too inefficient. Why kill your prey when you can keep them alive?
30 seconds ago, he had to be threatened with death to even let them in. But now he's spilling secrets like some sort of exposition machine. Time changes all men, I suppose.
Shut down password. What is it?
Harvest.
Because every complex and clandestine system can be quickly and easily shut down with one 7-letter password that even the unimportant night attendant knows. Maybe don't have the blind person on monitor watch. How would Dracula even know anything about Whistler? And why the subterfuge? What does it matter who he goes in as? Would have made more sense to disguise himself as Blade.
Zoe! Get out of here, Zoe! Hi!
If you yell a little louder, you can make for absolute certain the intruder you're asking her to hide from knows she's here. Who knew that Dracula was also the first serial killer who waxed poetic with notes left behind in blood? Why didn't they kill Hannibal? Was Dracula aware that if this made enough money, they might need him back for a sequel? Popeyes.
You're tasting a little bland, lover. Are you getting enough fatty acids in your diet?
No one's told a good fatty acid joke since, well, never. Are we sure Goyer actually wrote the first 2 Blade movies? Or did Stephen Norrington and Guillermo del Toro just cut all the sitcom shenanigans? We've already seen that Legolas here is good with a bow and arrow, so do we really need an EDM archery training montage 90 minutes into the film?
We just started reading The Emerald City of Oz. You know, the one with the Gnome King.
Is Summerfield recording a new video every time they finish one of the Oz books? Also, gnome shadowing.
What if you could remain a child forever? Wouldn't you like that? Wouldn't you accept that gift?
But she wouldn't remain a child forever. In the first film, Whistler explains that the vampires age, just slower than humans. No better way to get me pumped for a big action scene than slow-mo close-ups of guns, belt buckles, and iPod playlists. This vampire hunting scene is gonna be lit! Also, this fighting montage playlist contains no Joe Esposito. Did they set up automated circling mood lighting for this interrogation? Those vampires really know how to do things right. He spared no expense.
Pull down my tidy whities and see for yourself.
Enough! It's not funny anymore.
Wish they hadn't waited over an hour and a half to tell Ryan Reynolds this. If nothing else, Blade Trinity proves how annoying and unwatchable Deadpool could have been.
You juggling thunder!
Thunder ho! Pop quiz, hotshot. These headphones are impractical because A, you shouldn't take the time to put them on when you are already in a danger zone. B, there's no way they actually stay in during a fight. C, you're just asking for an arrow to snag on them every time you grab one. Or D, it's all of them, moron. Leave the stupid headphones back at base camp. Hannibal was freed and given his stuff over 10 minutes ago. Did he have to take a bathroom break? Where has he been? So he fights human vampires with no problem, but runs away from the dog version? Someone's fear priorities are all messed up. Why does he assume they're dead? If they truly are vampires, shouldn't you have to use silver to put them down?
Hey, dickface, you seen my dog?
Do the triple H's stand for heavy-handed histrionics? Because I haven't seen overacting like this since my college production of Trip to Bountiful. These obvious air punches are as fake as that Norway scene in Thor Ragnarok. King's fighting a giant pro wrestler, and these two are swashbuckling, and I'm one iocane powder reference away from calling this a Princess Bride sequel. I'll just wait to go full Dracula for this moment right now because reasons. Did Blade actually think those punches would work? You only have one shot with this arrow, and you can't pick a spot where you don't have to shoot it through glass. So the formula mixes with Dracula's DNA and causes an airborne toxin that will eventually kill all vampires. But when's eventually? Are the Night Stalkers just going to retire and let the virus do its thing while more vampire killing continues? And what about the blood-pumping facilities? Or what this does to Blade? This movie definitely does not have an ending.
When I'm with you.
His dinner's in the oven.
Friends. You remember those?
King Kong ain't got on me.
Who the hell are you people?
Who are you people?
The Babylonians worshipped him as Dagon, and now they call him Drake.
Might go down to G.O.D.
There's an old saying.
I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.